Welcome back, guys, to the MonsterCast podcast with me, Mason Paul, and Cameron Miguez. How's your week been going so far, Cam?
That's going all right. Day 65, 9, 73 of quarantine. It's amazing. My field's still as they did. How's it going out there in old San Diego?
Well, nothing much. Just trying to keep myself busy, building computers and building more computers.
Yeah, you've been struggling with that this week.
Yep, nothing but fun and electrical wires and I don't know. Just lots of problem solving and having fun here.
Well, if you build computers like you build monster trucks, them computers are not dependable.
Oh no, that's why you have three. You have the one that works pretty well, but then goes down. And then you have two backups. Speaking of which, I'm using a backup right now.
Oh, all right then. Well, I have to fix a screw up from the other night. So Wednesday night we had Adam Anderson on, and at one point Adam Anderson told us to talk about our sponsors, and I said we have no sponsors, and I screwed that up because we do have a good sponsor, and I just completely brain farted. So Mason, talk about our sponsor, Spur Hot Sauce. Tim's been really good to us. I screwed that one up. So see if you can fix it for me there, Mason.
Yep, no problem. Spur Hot Sauce is a Florida-based business that mixes both Western and Eastern styles and flavors. Give them a try and go ahead and go to their Facebook page at Spur Hot Sauce and tell them MonsterCast sent you.
Wow. I guarantee you will never have a job in voiceover work.
Nah. It's always worth practicing, but
Yeah. I mean, that didn't sound like you were reading anything.
Oh, not at all.
But seriously, no, take care of them guys. They've taken good care of us. Like I said, Tim done a really good job for us and been a good sponsor. So to Tim, I apologize. I botched that one up myself on Wednesday. Just it's what happens when you drink and do a podcast at the same time. Stuff gets missed. So, but I'm not going to stop drinking as a result of it. We're just going to try and make sure I don't screw up again.
Yep, I'll pay attention today.
Are our guests with us yet there, Mr. Mason?
Actually, they are, and I believe they are not going to be spelling their last names or their first names today. We have Eric and Rick Swanson.
What's up, fellas?
How you doing? How you going?
Hi, ERIC.
So what we drinking?
Captain and Coke, what I always drink.
I mixed it up a little bit today. I got a little bit of BSB and some cream Dr. Pepper.
I got good old-fashioned moonshine, the good stuff.
Yeah, but it's probably made in California. So what is it, 20 proof?
Oh, no. We got the out-of-state stuff. Backyard special.
Well, that's cool. Well, welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys coming on. We had you both guys on the trivia show, and you guys were both a good time. So we decided we need to have you on the actual broadcast. So we'll get to comments and questions as people chime in here in a little bit, but I'll get things started. And normally we always ask about the history and how you guys got in the business, but I know nobody cares how Rick Swanson got in the business, so I'm going to go a different route.
You were still in diapers.
Yeah, I was still in diapers. Yeah, 40-something years ago when you got in the monster truck business, when you helped build Bigfoot.
And Mason wasn't even a tickle yet.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about is you campaigned 2 trucks for several years before Eric started driving. But then once Eric started driving, you had to change your mentality, Rick. Talk about how you changed from being the main guy with the second truck to being the second truck to your son coming in and doing this. I mean, how did you take that approach?
This whole thing has always been about Eric. When he was going to be old enough, it was all about him. I started out early. He started early. First time he ever drove, he was 9 years old. It was for the Monsters of Destruction tour, and it's even on their TV show. Then first time he went over cars, he was 11. And ever since then, the second truck, no matter who was driving it, was always going to be for Eric. And then he was going to be, as I got older and weed myself out a little bit, he was the main or superstar, shall we call it.
Well, and he's done good at that by far. I mean, he went to the Double Down Showdown one year. And let's talk about that in the progression, Eric, a little bit. You started out, I remember being at one of the first actual shows you did. I don't remember what number of shows it was, but San Bernardino, we did one year. You hadn't been doing shows that long, and to go from that to World Finals in such a short time, I mean, was it just a blur, or did it took forever?
No, I mean, I think I also even back it up a little bit before the monster trucks. I grew up racing dirt bikes pretty much all my life. So coming from that, I would say, a little bit of kind of jumping and going fast experience. So going from that into basically the San Bernardino show, or even my first Monster Jam, I grew up in the sport kind of knowing what to expect, I guess you could say. But it is pretty crazy going from just learning how to hit crush cars to doing basically backflips. But going from that to where I am at now is definitely a blessing.
Well, now, so you're on tour. You were on tour this year with Monster Jam. How was that going before shutdown 2020 started?
It was going well, actually. We had really good guys on our tour. We had John Gordon, Ryan Disharoon. We had a really fun group, actually, and a really competitive group, I would say. And the competition was really tough. I did a couple of our races. I was in the top 3, top 4 category of when you blend all the two-wheel competition, the racing, and the freestyle. So we were off to a great start, for sure.
Well, now, you guys, do you have shows coming up? I mean, I know stuff's starting to try and fire off in June. You know, what's your guys' year looking like? Do you guys have many shows planned?
Actually, we do, and I want to credit Checkered Flag Promotions, Ed Beckley, because he's going to be the first one that's going out and going to do the first shows. We're doing Kalispell June 13th. Then from there, we cross Montana. We have another show the following weekend, and then we're doing Powell, Wyoming on the way back the following weekend. So we're going to do 3 weekends in a row for Ed.
So how excited are you guys to get back behind the wheel of the trucks again and feel back like we're normal again instead of just watching them sit in the shop every day?
Definitely. I know since I haven't driven this year, and this is my 25th year, I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Junior's got to drive.
Yeah, I mean, we all definitely. I mean, this part's the part that's not very fun. We're still working on them. The driving is the reward. So I'm definitely looking forward to driving it around some and making the money. That's pretty good too.
Well, so now during quarantine, have you guys made any drastic changes? I mean, was this the time for doing an upgrade you've been wanting to do, or just going through them one more time, or what does quarantine do like?
On my truck, we put a new motor in my truck. We put a new motor in my truck, did a few things, that we wanted to try on my truck that we're already doing on his truck. And then on his truck, we're just finishing up big accumulators. We're going to give it a shot. What else?
That and just some maintenance stuff we wanted to do. Almost kind of just getting it ready for as we would the new year.
Yeah, we got with the 30-inch travel front and back that we run on our trucks, we have a problem with sway bar links breaking. So Bill Payne made us some bungs for the Acme thread for the rod ends that it runs DOM tubing now. Can't wait to use those and not have them break.
Well, now you say you put a new motor in yours, Rick. Is it getting harder to find small block Chevys out there, or I mean,
hey,
I know
100 horsepower is a lot to get out of a small block.
Oh, Rick Swanson. The only guy I ever know that comes out of the track and talks about every jump that he drove by. Did you guys see that? I almost hit that. That was crazy. I can't believe that thing out there. That thing's huge.
Yeah.
You know, you're one of my favorite people in Menifee.
Only because you like staying at my house when you're out here.
Oh, your wife does make the best cookies. She makes awesome cookies. Can't lie.
I know, and
So-
we don't have any right now. I could be taunting you if she had some for me right now.
Well, I'll come out so she'll make some.
Okay.
Well, now, before we get to the comments real quick, I mean, you guys got other stuff going on. You have your own T-shirt gig you guys do. You know, you want to talk about that a little bit and what that entails? Or
Definitely. We're actually – the T-shirt shop was much cleaner than the race shop. So this is Eric's little office area we're sitting in right now. That's all his shirts behind us. Then the T-shirt shop's right through the door. We've got basically a 2,400 square foot T-shirt shop. It's something that, as I was getting older, I used to silk screen circuit boards. So as I was looking for something to go into as I was getting older, I thought, why not? Let's do T-shirts. Every monster truck guy I know needs T-shirts to sell, so I can sell them the shirts. We have a customer base. Our puppy's going crazy in the T-shirt shop right now. We have a pretty good customer base right now. They're what's keeping us alive, and we greatly appreciate everything. As you've seen online with Eric's clothing line, the Obsessor line, he's got shirts. He now has sunglasses made by Reason. I'm very, very fortunate where we're at right now, and I'm definitely thank the man upstairs that we are in the position we are in.
Well, I'm still waiting for my complimentary Obsessed T-shirt, but that's for another day, I guess. Have that conversation.
What's that, a 5X?
Close, not far. So just find a 5X that you've outgrown and send it to me.
There you go.
Send it to me.
No, it's definitely been a good thing. Actually, we just did on our YouTube channel, the Obsession Race Team. Rudy and Eric went to screen printing class, and we showed the shop. It's got we have a 10-color automatic, tag machine, sleeve machine, a 6-color manual, complete color station. So you give me a Pantone color, and I can make that color.
Why do I get to see Eric just staring at the colors during class? Yeah. Hopefully Rudy was paying attention.
Before we go to comments here, actually, why don't you go ahead and talk about your YouTube a bit? Like, what started you guys starting a YouTube channel, and how has it been going for first quarter this year for you guys doing trucks and YouTube now?
Yeah, I think, I mean, you go to a show and you see the show, and we actually got, when we first started it, we got a lot of comments on, we want to see, I mean, not just a show, but we want to see more of like kind of what happens, what you do to maintenance a truck, how is everyone at the shop. So going from that, we kind of been focusing on more of our personality and more of like how we load our trailer to get ready for a race and just being around everyone in the pits kind of thing.
And I think one thing that a lot of people like on our YouTube channel, while we were at events, we don't do just Eric. Like, I interview everybody that's there. Obviously, if we're at the big event, we can only interview the privateers. But Ryan Dishroom's birthday party, we did that and got him a piñata and whatnot. So we just trying to show what's going on behind the scenes as much, if not. My dog's getting in my moonshine. If not, come here. Come on up. You want to be on camera? There she is. There we go.
Oh, it's just like Eric.
We got a new rot. We actually had to put Roxy down in December.
Oh man.
So now we got this thing that likes to bite.
Good dog.
All right, time to go. All right. Keep my hand over my drink so she don't drink it.
Yeah. What do you got there, Mr. Mason?
We actually have one from a Levi Shones, and he's asking, what are the hardest shows for you to perform at each year?
To perform at? Is that what he said?
That means drive.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah. I know Rick's answer. Anyone with jumps.
Anything bigger than a van. How's that? I'm old. My back hurts.
I would probably say, though, when we go to the bigger stadium shows, not that it's harder to perform, but I think you just have more pressure. Everyone's watching you, and you want to do so much better in front of everyone.
Richard?
For me, I think it's the marathon shows where we have a bunch of shows in a weekend because with whoa, dog hitting the camera. With all the shows when we're going back to back to back to back to back, keeping the truck running, doing all that stuff. I have a 2 herniated disc and 2 squish disc in my back. So like a one night show, not a problem. But anytime we have to like 4 shows in a weekend, it really starts to hurt me. That's actually the hardest weekend for me.
Well, and a lot of people don't know. Everybody thinks, there's a lot of arena shows we do for Monster Jam that, are 4 and 5 show weekends, but also like WGAS out there in California. We do these fairs like Del Mar or Paris Lake. We're doing 4, 6, 8 shows in a week.
Yep.
Back nonstop. Now they're not as big as shows. We're not jumping everything under the sun, but like you said, just that time frame of, doing a show at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, another one at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and having to make sure the truck's 100% every time for 4 straight days. It takes a toll on you.
Yeah, it does.
All right. We actually have one from Nick Miguez. He's really pushing this question. His question is, he's wanting to know if they're ever going to send Rudy back to them. Twice now.
You know how much schooling we had to do for Rudy so he'd learn not from their mistakes? I'm just kidding.
Well, did you work with him? Did you help him not stick his arm in the trailer when the truck's backing in?
Yeah, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's key.
Well, we were supposed to see him in, I think it was Colorado Springs. Rudy was going to go because they were going to be there. Yeah. But as we know, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's not happening.
One from Richie Apsco. I wonder if you guys know him, but his question is, Eric, are you going to let me beat you in racing one of these times?
That would be to Eric.
That would be to Eric.
That was pretty funny because me and him were on the same tour this year, and like they say, they're supposed to mix it up when they go off your qualifying times, but each one of our qualifying times from the weekend before, we would always end up first round. So it was pretty funny.
For those that don't know, he was driving Zombie, right? He's Steve Thompson's teammate. But wasn't he driving Zombie? Yeah.
Tell him keep trying.
Yeah, keep trying, Ricky. You'll get there. There's a reason this truck is normally called student driver.
Right.
Well, we got him on YouTube dancing with Buddha. Ooh, it was a scary sight. Trust me.
I guarantee there was a lot of white guy moves in that with no rhythm.
All right. We have one from a MJ Solorio, and his question is, I'll never forget Rick yelling at Mike with Vendetta for doing a donut real close to where we were swapping transmissions in Santa Maria. Is there a story behind that one?
Well, let's just say Mike had a brain fart for a minute. He didn't realize how close he was to the haulers when he went into his donut. It happens to all of us.
It happens. Oh, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Say I haven't seen the same type of thing out of Mike Christensen.
It was probably on purpose.
Yeah, that was probably intentional.
All right, another one from Michael Keller. Apparently, he knows you guys pretty well because he's commented quite a bit. Never met the guy, but his question is, what's better, Bud Light or Coors Light?
Coors Light, of course.
I'd have to go with the Twins and Bud Light on that one.
Okay, I gotta ask: is what Buddha sitting in the other shop? I mean, if everybody doesn't know it's your crew guy.
I know. No, Buddha's actually in Wyoming right now.
Oh, chasing cows.
We haven't seen him since El Paso.
Oh, so you fired him. Attaboy.
No.
Breaking news. You got sent home. They're not bringing you back. The show they just announced you know nothing about. Sorry, bud.
No. He is getting ready. Actually, Buddha's getting married into this year, towards the end of this year.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Stick with monster trucks. It's it's hard to believe, but it's less painful.
You'll pay for that one later.
I can only say it because I think she's not in here. We're good. Make sure.
Hopefully. All right. We have one from a Mike Mentor, and his question to Rick is, what does Rick think of Governor Newsom?
I don't know if I can cuss on the air, can I?
Oh, we do.
Worthless.
Just keep the F word up.
Let's just say this much. I went up to the cabin this morning to do some work around it, and it was so awesome. Before we left, I drove around the lake. It was so awesome seeing all those people around the lake, having picnics and doing everything, basically giving the finger to him. I wanted to salute all of them for doing what they need to do.
Were they social distanced?
Yeah, about 2 feet apart. It was great.
It's going to be the ruin of our country. Gee whiz.
No. That's what's going to make our country come back.
Yeah, California.
Quit being a sheep.
Okay, we're not getting political on my show. It's called Monster Cast, not what Rick Swanson thinks of the government, because nobody else cares.
Going back to monster truck questions, we do have one from James Martin, and his question is, will you guys ever run with Hot Wheels monster trucks live?
If the opportunity came, we would. When they were in San Diego late last year, I actually sold one of the guys a tire because they popped a tire, and I took it down. And a lot of the people there are people that I've worked with over the years. From one company to another, they ended up at Hot Wheels, but I've known them all, and I would definitely run with them. And he ain't got a choice, because if I run with him, he's running with them.
And Eric's sitting there right now going, shut up, Dad. I like what I'm doing.
We have one from a Christopher Allen, and his question is, Eric, what's your favorite freestyle move?
Oh, that's a good one.
When the red light comes on? My favorite?
No, that would be your dad's favorite move of yours.
I taught him well.
No, I like to do where I jump something and I end it in a combo. So for example, I think last year, I did the step up jump and I landed on top of it and I brought it into a stoppie. So I like the combo ones like that.
Well, just a little side note, Christopher Allen, I actually got a great call from his mom, Carol, this week. We all know Carol and Jim Allen and Christopher Allen, and talking about how much she enjoyed our podcast. So I'm going to shout out to Christopher and Jim and Carol. And shameless little plug for Monster Cast. Woohoo, we're great.
Say hi to Arizona from California.
Yeah.
All right. 1 second here. see what else we got going on here.
Well, here, I'll take it for a minute. So talking about doing a stoppie, Eric.
Yeah.
How hard is it since you haven't been able to go to, say, Paxton and train much like the other people have, and you haven't done a lot of arenas? How hard has it been for you to adapt to two-wheel? Because you don't have a lot of opportunity to do that stuff except for at the shows.
He's not doing his homework.
Well, actually, if you ask Tom, I rolled their truck 6 times practicing.
He was at Paxton.
I actually,
okay.
a couple of years ago, I flew back and I actually drove the old Mohawk Warrior, and that's what I practiced in.
So you're saying you didn't learn a thing?
No, I still crash.
Well, now have you gotten better at it? Is it something you're getting used to now?
No, I think I have a pretty good feeling, I would say, for it now.
So what's your move? Is it the stoppie? Is it the moonwalk?
I would say all last year was the stoppie, and then this year I've been getting it in reverse and into the moonwalk.
Well, at least you're doing something. Jeez.
But
What you got there?
Yep, as we take a minute to go ahead and move off from some of these comments, I'll wait for a few more to come back. For you guys this year on, I believe it was Stadium Tour Yellow, what was your favorite show to do there this year? Like just between the environment and everything behind it. I've watched some of your guys' vlogs, and they were really great. But out of just between you two, what was your everything just worked right and it was just a great experience for you that weekend?
I would say for me, it would probably be Oakland. That's where I only got to do one backflip this year. And I did it the second show there, and then the first show it was a televised one, and I did pretty well. And I think I got second in the two-wheel competition, and I was able to do a pretty long moonwalk. And also my girlfriend and kid was also there, so that was pretty cool to have them there too.
That always cost me money.
And probably more work because he's got to entertain the girlfriend.
All right.
Yeah. So basically, me, Rudy, and Buddha did all the work while he just disappeared. No, I won't say that. She helped work on it. He tore the champagne off that night.
Yeah.
Oops.
You know all too well.
Done that once or twice.
Well, that's just last week, right?
No, luckily I ain't touched a truck in months. I haven't touched a truck since March something-ish.
Yeah.
Hell, last night,
How
Bounty Hunter's still sitting in the trailer.
That's where his truck is, in the trailer.
Well, I mean, we were at a show ready to go. Ain't no reason to bring it out now.
Yeah, his is all ready to go in the trailer. Our old truck that's now the Wicked Strong truck, they rolled over in Del Mar last year and bent the roll cage up real bad. So they brought the truck back to us. We recaged it. And we've been working on it. We had a razor that we had to build a roll cage for, and now we're restoring a 68 vet for a friend of ours.
Yeah, I was actually at that Del Mar show when they rolled that thing. It was a good rollover. I'll give them credit for it. I don't know if I walked it. I was probably changing a motor when they did it. We went through 3 of them that week at that show.
Oh, yeah.
That was the worst week ever. That was amazing. I saw, I've talked to people, and I've told people, if you're going to get in this business, there's times you won't sleep. I didn't realize it would happen 4 times in 7 days. That was a long week.
People don't understand. Basically, you're doing 12 shows in 6 days.
Yeah. Well, the problem is we did Del Mar and then went to Pomona.
Yep.
Back to back. And then left Pomona right after the minute the show was over. Well, you were there. Left the minute the show was over and drove to San Antonio to go do Monster Jam. And we're in San Antonio at 1:30 Saturday morning before Monster Jam to do that with another truck that we had to bring in because we blew another motor. So, yeah, that was hell week by far, but we got through it.
It's called Camp Creedon for a reason.
Well, boot camp is too easy, so we had to go with Camp Cretin to make it real.
Yeah.
Somehow. We have a question from Ryan Lee Roberts, and his question is, how do they feel about doing two-wheel skill contests in stadiums? Is it repetitive? I can't spell today. Repetitive. Repetitive. There we go. Got it. Repetitive since you have freestyles following, or does it balance out nicely?
Because we have freestyles following.
Yeah. I think because the two-wheel skill is a little different. I mean, yes, it's kind of like a little freestyle, but in freestyle, they're usually doing bigger jumps. If they get a stoppie or a moonwalk, it's from a combo situation where in two-wheel skills, you're going out just to do that. I do think if every truck goes out and does a stoppie, it gets boring. But as long as the trucks as long as you got a good group of trucks that they all do something different, or, I mean, you could have 2 or 3 trucks do the same thing, but if, you got 12 trucks and all 3, you got 3 trucks that do the same thing, that's still 4 different moves to watch and see who was better at that move.
Well, and the other side of it is, regardless of whether it's two-wheel or back when we used to do wheelie contest or a donut contest, you're going to have the repetition. It's hard to avoid. It can get repetitive sometimes, but it's just part of the show. Helps fill the show.
Yep, because before we had all that, we used to have tough trucks and quads and everything else taking up time.
The good old days.
Oh, yes, they were.
All right.
What else you got?
No, still waiting for a few more comments to come in. But as we go ahead and wait for a few more, go ahead and talk about your time in the Young Guns shootout that year and what led up to it.
For the Young Guns, what's that?
Well, he's just saying, talk about when you did the Double Down Showdown, Eric, a little bit. And I mean, and Rick, how much pressure you felt? I mean, I was actually parked next to you guys, so I got to watch it firsthand, the pressure. But and all the ice water on the transmission. But I mean, you made rounds. You went all the way to the finals, Eric. How was that?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of pressure. Back then, if I got past first round, I mean something was happening. So my whole goal going into it was to get past first round. So once I passed first round, I really didn't care. I was having fun. I already made my goal. So I mean, it was definitely a lot of pressure though, and I mean I definitely had a good time. And one of the funniest things was Tyler Meninga was there, and I think it was the year before me. He went to the finals and lost like just like I did, and then he did the same thing in main event in racing. So he walks up to me and it's like, "Don't worry, I know how you feel," and then walks away. So it was pretty funny. But yeah, there was definitely a ton of pressure going into it. I mean, all the higher ups were there watching, all the fans were there, so it was definitely a lot of pressure.
And what a lot of people don't know about that is, in practice, he was like just mediocre, top half, but lower of the top half of the field in practice. And so we were trying a few things, see what I could do to make the truck perform a little better for him. Well, first pass he went out, he blew the rear seal completely out of the transmission. So every time he came back in to the pits, as you mentioned, we had bags of ice to throw on the transmission. We had 4 gallons of water. And then before he went to the starting line, we'd dump another gallon of tranny fluid in the truck so he could make it down the track and back.
Well, I just remember right before the final round, you were out of water, and so we were all running around the pits looking for every bottle of water we could find, because they'll bring bottled water back and give everybody a couple in the pits. And so we're running around just everybody's pit stall, stealing every bottle of water we could find.
Remember how hot that tranny was?
Oh, I mean, the best part about it is just all of us soaked when we were done, because everybody just douching bottles in there just like crazy, going everywhere. It looked like we had a fog machine underneath the Obsessed truck. And then the transmission had nothing to do with it because somebody hit something and rolled.
And all that work in the pits, doing everything, so after the final round of racing, they had it to where all the trucks from the double down were going to go do a parade lap and come back. So when he pulled up to the starting line, all the trucks are already lined up to do the parade lap. So as he takes off, I'm trying to see the big screen they had set up in back for us to watch. And as the trucks are passing, I'm like, that sure is a lot of blue on the big screen. So I'm like, whatever. And so I start walking to the front to see what happened, and all of a sudden everybody goes running past me. Is Eric all right? I'm like, what happened? I didn't even see the crash till the next day when I saw it on videotape.
Whoops. And he knows he didn't mention it ahead of time either.
And that was a brand new body we debuted for that race.
Well, you got to break it in right.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Like Pastor Ron says, what's going to happen? It's going to happen out there.
Yep.
Guys, one of your crew guys, actually, Rudy, and his question to you guys: will Eric ever do a mini flip?
That's Rudy's favorite.
Rudy's a super fan at heart. He's
in
the house right now, so don't act like it's that far away.
Oh, yeah. I think we'll do a mini flip when he's not at the show.
But bringing him in right after to put everything back together when it's over.
Of course.
Well, I think his next question is going to be, when am I going back to Team Raising Cane now?
So within a podcast, you've already lost both your crew guys because you gave one to keep working in Wyoming and you gave one back to his old team. Crazy.
So you're looking for a job? Is that what you're saying?
So Mason, you want to come to the A-team, huh?
He's looking for a slower pace.
I wouldn't mind that.
Be at home with the family on the weekend when you're not working, not 2,000 miles away.
That'd be new. Sure. Anyway, another one from Ryan Lee Roberts, and his question to you guys should have been in that main field that year in 2017. Another question for you guys, though. Would you ever turn down another Vegas, or in this case, Orlando invite? This is for both Rick and Eric.
It's not, I don't think you'd ever turn it down, but we do this I'm in this to give Eric the best shot he has to do anything he wants to do with it. With that being said, I'm not going to be foolish and do things that don't make sense to make it better for him. So it's kind of if everything lined up, we would be there. If it didn't, we wouldn't be there. Kind of a vague answer, I know.
Essentially what he's saying is, if Rick's not invited, he's not going.
Oh, no.
If he can't go and do all Rick wants to do is show up and do the parade. So if he's not
do that,
if he's not involved, so to all the Monster Jam officials out there, just invite Rick to the parade. You're gonna have to slow it down a little. Trucks get moving a little quick, but but I think he'll do it. And give him a show in Houston on the way.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're talking more.
And on the way back.
Well, and that's what is hard about it for you guys. I mean, that's one advantage my brother and Cretan and the Texas guys have is being centrally located. It is much easier to do these things. All the coastal guys, what people don't realize is it's hard to make it happen. It's hard to have to run across country. It's very expensive to move these rigs. So that's what a lot of people don't see is it has to make sense logistically. There has to be shows that, you can piggyback to go cross country to make it feasible and affordable.
100%. I mean, at 6 miles a gallon in a semi, it's not the most fuel efficient, shall we say. And then plus, you got to remember, we need to be at the T-shirt shop. So if we're going to be gone for 2 weeks' time, let's say, by the time you get there and get back, we need to make enough money to compensate for the money lost at the T-shirt shop. So, there's a lot of, it's not just, I want to go do this, let's go do it. Everybody thinks, well, if you have a monster truck, you pick and choose where you're going to be. No, you have to be invited to where you're going to be. And then just because you're invited, it still has to make common sense to do it. It's not just go do it because you want to. You know what I mean? Not everybody understands how much of a business it is just to get up and down the road as much as doing the performance.
Well, exactly. I mean, it is a business, and that is the World Finals is a different animal. I mean, you do try to do whatever you have to do because to get invited, it's a very limited invitation. So you don't want to pass an opportunity, and you have to make it work. But you definitely want to, if you ever have the opportunity and you're a driver, you definitely do not want to pass it up because I guarantee driving in front of that crowd is like driving in front of no other.
Well, and all you have to do, I mean, if you're at their big show, you do good and you have impressed more people than killing it at any other show they have. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just because of how much it gets broadcast, how much it gets talked about. So, I mean, you're definitely going to do everything you can if you're invited to go.
Well, how much, I mean, from like the 2017 doing the double down and all that, with you being a West Coast team, have you guys noticed after that how much of a difference when you guys went east of people knowing your trucks as well from, just that television time like that?
Yeah, yes, I think it helped, but you got to also remember that was the same year we did Jacksonville, Atlanta. We did a tour. We went Phoenix, Houston, Jacksonville, Atlanta, and then home. And it was that whole tour was televised. So I think that helped a lot. Then when he did so good in Vegas, I think it helped a lot. And I think the fact of the YouTube channel and social media, we're really concentrating on that more too. So I think I think that show in 2017 helped the social media, boost the social media. And now with the YouTube and everything else, it's trying to take it up to another level. Obviously, if he was to go to the next finals, we'd be there. And it's just going to take us up that whole nother step. You know what I mean?
So is this entire podcast just going to be a commercial for your damn YouTube channel? I mean, Christ, just give the name out so we can get it with, so we can quit talking about the damn YouTube channel,
It's right here.
Yeah. I mean, Rudy and Michael Buddha are watching. So your two followers are here. I don't know who else you're telling.
No, I'm just saying that's all part of, people don't understand how much importance the YouTube, the social media, all that is, because not everybody gets to see you.
Yes, and what's the name of that YouTube channel again?
You should know it by now. Obsession Race Team.
Obsession Race Team. Yeah, I see the obsession side of it. The obsession of you talking about the damn thing. Christ. Whew, we covered it. Make sure, here, let me plug it for you. Make sure everybody go watch the Obsession YouTube channel. It's amazing the things that Rick and Rick Swanson do on it. If you want me to come out and pimp that for you, I can start hosting it.
Could you?
Right. One question we always like to bring all of our guests on and make sure to ask them before the end of the show is always about their favorite like road story, like throughout the years. We've had different ones with the twins and how they had to hook up different things to get their rig running and on between Morgan and Adam Anderson. What's your guys' best road story doing this for, 25 years now?
Unfortunately. I don't think it's so much. Well, I take that back. We were with the twins, and it was Airborne Ranger, R2, and the twins, I think. We were in Missoula, Montana. And Airborne Ranger got there, and his trailer broke. Oh, and Captain USA was there, too, I think. Yeah. Airborne Ranger got there. His trailer broke. He actually bought a trailer in Montana. He found one. Gooseneck trailer. And then, so his old trailer, the brakes caught on fire or something on the way there. So, I mean, it was just a disaster trip for him to get there. We no sooner leave, and I get maybe 20 miles out of town, and I lose a water pump on my rig. So I'm sitting on the side of the road. And it was when my white rig was new to me. I'm sitting on the side of the road, and I'm looking at this truck come at me, and I'm like, oh, that must be a race hauler because it's drop trailer and whatnot. And I look, and it's Jimmy Creedon going the other direction. So I get on the phone with him, and he's actually, as he's going the other direction back into town, looking for the truck stop, because I knew I passed the truck stop, but I couldn't remember the name of it or anything. So he got the name of it and texted me the phone number as he went by it. Then, so I got that fixed. As I was getting that fixed, the twins, Bob and Airborne Ranger, Bob and Elaine with the ride truck, they all left Missoula. We were going to, I think, Roseburg the next weekend. And I was trying to get to Oregon to get some tires buffed down at the tire place. So I was trying to drive as fast as I could. Well, somehow I called them, and I'm like, where are you guys at so we can hook up? Well, I had passed them. They were on the side of the road someplace. They pulled off. The twins lost a fan.
Yeah, but they only lost one blade. So they broke the other side off to balance it out.
To make it work. And then what else happened that trip?
Joe's steering wheel. Remember? Joe, his tires were so unbalanced he couldn't go for I think it was 40 miles an hour because the steering wheel would shake so bad it'd rip out of his hands.
And then we got to the tire place, and Bob and Elaine came to meet us there because the twins went to get another haul or get their fixers. They went to home, and Joe was stuck at a left swap waiting for tires. So we get to the tire place, and Bob and Elaine are coming, and Bob comes walking into the tire place. I'm like, where's your truck? He's down at the corner. What do you mean down at the corner? I just dropped the drive line. So I had to unhook my truck, go down, hook a strap from my truck to his truck and trailer, and pull it all the way down. We had to replace the drive line on his truck while they were buffing my tires. We all got to Roseburg.
And then Bob got high-centered on the island.
Oh, yeah. We got Bob's truck fixed first, and we took it to McDonald's for lunch, and it says, no trucks. I'm like, Bob, I don't think you can make it. I don't think you can make it. He hangs a left turn, gets caught on the island. Tire off the ground, blocking traffic. This trip was the trip from hell. But it all went good. I mean, we all made it to Roseburg for the following weekend. and the promoter shows up in a different truck.
Yeah.
And we're like, what happened? And he goes, well, I made it 200 miles from the house and blew the motor. So it was the trip from hell until Roseburg. Everybody made it home from Roseburg just fine.
Oh, Mama said there'd be weeks like that.
But it was fun. I mean, you got to have the good and the bad to make it worthwhile.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, Eric needs to move his phone away or something. You guys are backfeeding us.
Do what?
Oh, something's backfeeding really bad.
You're breaking up real bad.
Is that you, Mason?
I'm not sure. Do I sound all right?
Yeah,
You
maybe.
sound fine. Cam, you were breaking up.
All right.
Right. Just to pull off to the side from this here for a second, we have another question from Christopher Allen. He's wondering, altogether and over the years, how many reporters has Rick ever almost thrown a huge wrench at?
How many what?
Reporters.
Come on now. Christopher, you know my thoughts. We think the same. Trump 2020. So anybody on the other side could be.
Also to answer Paul Strong's question off to the side here on if we're transmitting from the International Space Station, he's correct. The new response we have going on, it's in the works, and I'm proud to say it's not working great. But we're doing the best with what we got right now.
Thanks, Paul.
Oh, we didn't hear none of that question. We heard Paul Strong.
Right. We have one from Frank Preble, not really much of a question, but more of a statement here. It's wondering if Rick ever remembers Vancouver.
What was it?
Vancouver?
Vancouver.
Oh, Frank Kremel. Yeah, me and Frank had some good times. He's stayed out at the house for more than once. I had the opportunity of taking Frank and I can't remember the crew guy's name, but me, Frank did all the work. In fact, that was the first weekend. Frank was driving Del Scorcho. Chucky was in Digger. Their driver for the semi could not go into Canada because he had a DUI. So they flew me up to Sacramento because I had the weekend off to take their rig into Vancouver for them. So I got up there and we had a hell of a time. Frank will remember going down one-way streets and trying to turn that rig around in a soccer field, I think it was, because our directions weren't right.
Okay, for some reason we're having a really bad echo with you.
Yeah, you're echoing too.
Eric, not watching it.
No, Rudy, you don't have that on, do you? This? Okay. Just making sure Rudy walked in. Making sure you didn't have it on.
All right. As we at least move on to the last few questions here, seeing how we're having some technical difficulties, we have one from Paul Strong again. He's wondering who'd win in a fight, Darren or Cam? For all of us, I suppose. Placing our bets.
Let's just say Cam's on this, so we'll go with him for now. And when I talk to Darren, I'll go with him.
I'd go with Darren. I don't have the energy.
Yeah, so definitely a tough one, bud. Probably giving that one up to Darren. I feel like Cam definitely has the strength, but it only lasts for about, let's say, maybe 30 seconds, two minutes for lucky. And after that, no, not even.
About 30 seconds. For a smoke break.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we'll go 30 seconds. So, if Darren can survive 30, yeah, it's all over from there.
Yeah. Don't know that.
All right. And
What's the next one?
one actually from Jill, your wife. You can do anything with circus peanuts. So maybe I can add to that.
That's only because Frank Kreml answered. One of the things Frank learned when I drove the rig is that he gave me all my per diem money when I got there, and I went straight to a truck stop and showed him how you're going to drive all night. You just load the dash up with snacks, and I told him you're welcome to anything on the dash as long as it's not the last one. Kind of like taking the man's last beer. You just can't do it.
Yeah, do not give it to Rick his food. Well, I would argue we're getting pretty bad here. We're probably getting pretty painful to watch. So I'd say it's time to everybody watching. Rick, Eric, I know I'm here, so I apologize. I appreciate you guys being on. And hope we get to meet each other on the road here.
Thanks for having us.
Of course. Well, as we go ahead and close out the podcast here, just a little bit early, seeing how we're having some technical difficulties, I'd like to thank everybody watching this episode again with us here at MonsterCast with Mason and Cam. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Spur Hot Sauce, again for everything they do for us. Any last closing words for you, Cam, or either one of our connections die out?
Well, I just apologize to everybody for what's happened here. I'm not sure what it is. I know Mason's having some computer issues. It could be me. But thank you very much for watching. Rick and Eric got the report. Like you said, thank you to Sauce. Make sure to check them out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Tomorrow on Facebook, our Hump Day Happy announced. Should be a good one. See you guys.
Right. Catch you guys in next time.